Hello, this is Mike Bongiorno, and this is the Pop Culture Man Children feed. But today's episode is not a Pop Culture Man Children episode. It's a bonus episode. It's an episode of my other podcast. That's right, I have a different podcast. And this one's not about pop culture, although it comes up sometimes. This podcast is about mental health and dealing with and laughing at mental health issues like addiction, depression, anxiety, and all sorts of stuff like that. It's called Cuckoo Bananas, and it's available anywhere podcasts are found. And I'm going to give you an episode right here of Cuckoo Bananas just so you can get a taste of what it's like. If you like PCMC, I think you might like Cuckoo Bananas. It's hosted by me and my co-host Kate Gainey. Give it a listen. Welcome.
Hey.
Welcome to Cuckoo Bananas. This is hey, if you're new here, hey, you might be new here.
You might be.
I can't
Welcome.
assume. Yeah, welcome. First of all, welcome. You came to the right place.
Definitely. You meant to be here.
Yeah. Guess what? And I'm talking right to you.
Yep. You.
This is, if you're not sure what this is not a podcast about bananas and other produce. It is although I'm not adverse to talking about produce.
We could totally talk about produce.
It is a podcast by two people who have mental health issues. One has bipolar and kind of a fucking problem with weed, and then the other has OCD, depression,
And kind
anxiety.
of a fucking problem with weed.
Definitely a problem. I'm a like they say dry drunk.
Mm.
What would be the weed version for that? Dry drunk. An unburnt unburnt pothead.
The unburnt.
An
Is that you?
uncrispy pothead.
It's terrible.
You know, I've said this before on the show, but I still dream about weed all the time. And it's not just that I dream about weed, it's that often in my dreams, my like modus operandi is like, gotta get somebody's phone number. Who do I know? Who can I text? Who can get me some weed? Which means that the drive to obtain it, to secure it, that's like my most basic drive.
That's what's underneath it all. Everything else shuts down, but that's still active.
Yeah. Like, and then in my dream world, I'm looking at my dream phone and I'm like, I don't got anybody on here anymore. I used to have so many people.
I used to be able to text anybody.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
But speaking of produce, have you ever worked in a supermarket?
No, I worked in one of those like Italian specialty stores. That's the closest I could say I've ever come to that.
What do they
But
sell? Like meatballs?
My child decided that he wants to be a part of this.
Sure.
Yeah, no, lots of meatballs, some
Well,
sausage.
really, what's a specialty store? What does that mean?
It's like they usually have like a deli counter and prepared foods
Oh,
and
okay.
like a bakery counter and
Is that like a salumeria or whatever?
yeah, like that. I worked at the bakery counter. That was my first job. That's
Nice.
the closest I've ever come to any sort of grocery experience.
I worked in the frozen food section of a supermarket for 2 or 3 weeks, and it's cold, man. Like
Yeah.
when there's like a giant freezer in the back that's like a walk-in freezer, but like not like in a restaurant, like a huge, like the size of a room, and it's filled with all the bullshit from the truck, and you have to go in there and take shit off and put it out into the the fridges on the aisles, and like going in there constantly sucked. Like it really sucked. Like I would like wear like sweaters and shit. Like it was really miserable, and it was in
And then when you came out, would you be warm? Like, was it hard to like regulate temperature?
well, it was hard to regulate it because you were going in and out, and it was you never felt really good about anything. It was a weird mind fuck.
Terrible. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. But I worked for a week, and the manager like trained me, but not very well. But also I was like dumb. I was like a dumb kid. So he was like, okay, I'm training you this week, but next week I'm going on vacation. I was like, okay, if you feel it's good for you to go on vacation the second week I'm working,
You're
whatever,
that confident in my ability right now.
whatever happens is fucking your plan. So what I did was I was lazy, right? So I would go into the to the back room and I would like take I didn't really know what I was doing. I was lazy and also kind of like shy and not confident in myself. So I would take the things that were obvious and I would put them out on the floor, but like I wouldn't climb over things. I wouldn't open some boxes that I didn't know. Like I was just like I didn't know I didn't feel command of what I was doing.
Hmm.
So when he got when he got back from vacation, he was like, "What did you do last week? Did you do anything?" I was like, "Yeah, I did some stuff." He was like, "I hear from the fucking night crew that they had to do all the shit," and I was like, "I think this is not for me."
So maybe this isn't the best fit.
Or maybe he fired me. I don't remember. It was one of those like, "You can't fire me. I quit.
Right.
Fire me." One of the best quits I ever had was somebody said to me, "What can I do to motivate you?" And I said, "I quit. That's what motivates me."
You can get me the fuck out of here.
That was actually at a pretty good job. That was at FYE for your entertainment,
Oh,
which was look, I don't want to say it was exactly like the movie Empire Records.
but it wasn't not like
It
that.
wasn't not exactly like it.
Oh,
It
that's
was a lot of
great.
fun, and I had a lot of friends there, and
That's great.
it was a fun time.
There's something
Um,
really cool about those like late teenage or like early 20s jobs, where you
yeah,
like click with all your coworkers and you spend all your time together and you're hanging out after work and
right.
going and
You go
getting drinks.
Yeah, yeah. And maybe for the first time in your life, somebody trusts you and gives you like a key or something, and you're like, "Ooh, I got a key. Look at me.
Ooh, yep, yep,
Look at me."
yep.
One time
That's
we were
good stuff.
me and another guy were supposed to open the store, but he was like younger than me, but had somehow become manager. And he's like, you know what? It's early. Let's go get Dunkin' Donuts. And I was like, really? You just want to close the store in a mall and get Dunkin' Donuts? And he was like, yeah, nothing will happen. So then we come back from Dunkin' Donuts and we open the store and then the manager walks in and is like, yeah, I was just out there watching you. What the fuck?
I just sat by and watched that whole thing
I just
unfold.
watched you close the store, walk away, walk back with Dunkin' Donuts in your hands.
That's incredible.
Over
I
the
love
store.
that she watched that happen.
Yeah.
I've assumed your manager's gender, I think, but that's
No, it
amazing.
was a guy, but that's also the guy that I also quit to.
Perfect.
How do I motivate you? I quit. How
Dunkin'
about
Donuts didn't work, so
you?
I'm out.
Dunkin' Donuts would motivate me.
Yeah. I am joining the workforce again in just a couple of weeks.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. I actually am returning to doing the only thing that I would probably return to doing, which is
Working in an
working in
Italian
animal
specialty
medicine,
store.
which is working in the bakery of an Italian specialty store.
Bibbida bobbida boobida.
Bubbidi-boop. There used to be, so I know that I'm not alone in this. Um, I have an issue where when people speak to me in a certain accent or like dialect or whatever, like I'm compelled to respond the same
Sure.
way. And I have to watch myself because that's not something anybody wants you to do. Um, but I can remember working in that bakery as like a teenager, and there was a guy who used to come in and order cannoli, but he had a British accent and he would order cannoli, and I would just be like, "Oh, the cannoli!" And like I couldn't help myself. And I really like to this day that haunts me. Like I lay down in bed and I'm like, that guy thinks I was making fun of him.
Yeah, he does.
It's like 17 years later, and I'm like, oh man, that guy hates me so much. Terrible. But I'm returning to animal medicine, which is cool because it's a job where I actually feel helpful and I'm not
Yeah.
selling anybody on anything and
Congratulations.
good things. Thank you, thank you.
So, in a
I'm
few weeks, you're
excited.
returning. Are you excited?
I am excited. I'm, of course, a little nervous too. I haven't really been like a part of any sort of larger business in a long time. I've only worked for myself
What kind
in
of
the
schedule are
last, I
you
would say,
looking
like
at?
5 years. So I'm gonna be working 4 days a week, which is pretty sweet. But I'm still gonna be full time between like 30, 35 hours, something like
Nice.
that. Um, I get one weekend day off, which is excellent because I made a point of saying like I don't want to lose all the time that I have with my family and like to do
Sure, of
things I
course.
enjoy. So yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
And it's a nice injection of money into your family, right?
Yes, it's and like I mean, I know we all know this because we live in this world, but a family cannot really exist on one income. Certainly can't really thrive in this setting
Right,
without
right.
both parents working. And, you know, we were lucky enough that I was able to stay home and stay with my kids until they are both now elementary school aged.
Yeah.
And it's going to be good to go back to doing something. It's, you know, regardless of what the job is or whatever, it's going to be nice to have that structure, uh, to feel productive. There's a lot of
Yeah.
things. So I've thought about this a lot, and with parenting, um, obviously, it's a very rewarding job and all that stuff, but you don't really see, like, it's not like you start a project and you see the end of it and you get to feel rewarded. It's not that kind of job. It's a constant ongoing thing. You're never
Yeah.
done with doing one thing and you get to see how it turned out and stuff like it's a constant. It's
It's
always
a constant
evolving.
investment.
Yeah, and you're always going to be observing the changes and stuff. Like you're never done. You never get to say like, "Oh, I did a good job on that thing." You
Mhm.
know, like and that is I think something I've missed about working is having a task, completing
Yeah.
a task, seeing that the task was done
So
well,
good.
you know, that kind of
I
gratification
am
for
so
my
with you.
actions.
I'm so with you on that mindset. I love, I'm a very, very meticulously, anally organized person. So like with my job, I've got a lot of I work with a lot of different people. And like I've got my whole work computer is just different stickies. Like it's all stickies. And it's all like different lists. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I'm constantly like working my lists, and taking something off the list is like the best feeling in the fucking world. When I can like close something, you know what I mean? Because usually with my job, there's like 3 or 4 steps that have to happen before it's closed.
Right.
So when I can close something and that's off the books, it's
So
like,
sweet.
mwah,
So sweet. What a feeling.
incredible.
Nothing like it. Nothing like it. I'll say it.
Because it's tangible.
Hmm.
Someone could say, "Hey, what you do today?" You go, "You know what I did today? I fucking did so and so."
I was able to close one of my stickies.
Yeah, yeah. How about fucking that?
Yeah, yeah, I need that in my life, truly.
Good for you.
I need some, you know, like chunked out tasks that I can complete because I'm not very good at doing that for myself. And I don't know if that's a neurodivergent thing or what, but I'm not very good at breaking my goals down into tasks. And I get very overwhelmed very easily. And then I end up in the executive dysfunction cycle where I'm like,
Uh-huh.
okay, I have too many things to do. What thing should I do first? Can't figure out what thing to do first. Now I'm panicking and now I'm in a shame spiral because why can't you just get up and do something? Like, so
Yeah,
it'll be nice to have some outside forces governing that for me. I think that's
yeah.
important for
Is this a
me.
new place or a place that you've worked before?
New place,
Very good.
new
Very good.
place. Yeah, I'm
Similar job, different
excited.
job.
Similar job,
Okay,
potential to move to a different job,
that's good.
which
Room
is
for
cool.
growth.
Yeah, room for growth. We like that.
Awesome.
I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about it. And animals are the best, man.
They
And
are.
another part that's cool is in the past, I've only really worked with dogs and cats.
Mhm.
And now I will get to work with other animals as well,
Like lizards.
like lizards and birds and ferrets and
See, this
guinea
is what blows
pigs.
my mind about like vets, because it's
Mm,
like a primary care physician learns about the human,
right.
but like a vet like learns about like a million different things.
So many things.
How's
And
that possible?
excuse me. Yeah, it's incredible. I don't think they really get enough credit for how much knowledge they're retaining and how much they had to learn to get to where they are. And of course, like, they choose specialties and there are people who know more about certain
Sure.
species than others, but it's like you said, like, and yeah, you have a human doctor that, a cardiologist or a nephrologist or whatever. But you also have like general practitioners and they're still just studying human,
Yeah.
where a vet has to like kind of know a little bit of everything
Yeah. Yeah.
and then can kind of choose where they want to go from there. Wild.
You know those
Wild.
toys that kids have where it's like it's like a clock it looks like, and it's got a an arrow, and you pull the string and the
Yeah.
arrow goes around, and
Hmm.
like it'll be hit the cow, it'll be like the cow goes moo.
Yeah.
That's how
See
vet
and
school
say.
is. Like you come in and they're like, "What are we gonna do today?" All right, chickens. All right, chickens today.
So chickens. All right, let's go.
All right, I wasn't ready for it, but here we go.
All right, barnyard fowl. Let's get it.
Yeah,
That's so funny. Yeah, that's how it goes. I'm pretty confident you've got that pegged.
that's awesome. I'm
You can
very
teach a
happy
vet
for
school.
you.
Thank you. I'm excited to get back to it. I really am.
There's just such an independent, even if you're not paid enough, and who is?
Nobody
No
is.
one's paid enough. Which is the truth. You either not paid enough or you paid too much. There's
Or you paid
nobody who's paid
way
enough,
too much.
right?
That's right.
Right? There's like a small percentage of people that paid way too much, and then the rest of us aren't paid enough.
Speaking of people who are paid too much,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's no way you missed the news of this missing submarine, right?
No, I did miss it. What happened?
You've missed the news of the missing submarine. I get to tell you about this. I'm so
Sure.
excited. So, a group of tourists spent like $250,000 a piece to get on a submarine to go down to see the Titanic.
Yeah. Okay.
And this submarine is now missing.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Jen told me about this.
Uh,
Um, so what do we believe? It's like black magic. There's some sort of voodoo going on with this with the
no.
okay.
No, I think the ocean is the ocean and it's more powerful than humans are giving it credit for. And I think these people thought they had some sort of cool plan to go violate an ancient burial ground. Okay, let's also address
Okay.
that. And
Yeah, it's spooky.
and
It sounds
it
very
didn't
spooky.
work out. And it didn't work out. You tried to take, a Campbell's soup can down to like the deep, deep ocean
Yeah.
and violate fucking people who've been dead for over a century. Leave it
Wow.
alone. Just leave it alone.
But that's crazy that it's just missing.
So wild. But I feel that way, like especially having now like been out on a cruise and been out on the open ocean like that. Like you go outside in the middle of the night and you can't see anything.
It's so scary.
And you know that the depths that are underneath you are greater than anything you could even comprehend. Like, that's how something goes missing there.
Right.
I remember being a kid, and it was when they were still looking for Osama bin Laden, and thinking to myself, like, how could they not find this guy? Like, how they can't find a person because I'm what, 12 years old or something like that at this point. And I'm like, how can you not find someone? And then I went like out west. I went to Utah and I saw all the caves and shit like that. I was like, oh, that's how.
Right.
Like there's nature in places because I grew up in New York City.
Yeah, right.
How can you not find somebody? Like
It's a grid system.
it's a grid, okay? You can't get lost. Uh,
Does
but yeah, it's
the
the
ocean scare
ocean.
you?
Huh?
Does the ocean scare you?
Yes. Not enough that, it kept me from going on a cruise or anything. But I would never be one of those people who paid that much money to go into the deep ocean.
No.
I have no
Down
desire
there.
to scuba dive really or anything like
No.
that. Like
No.
that's not my element. I don't belong there. I like to go into the ocean when I'm at the beach and like splash around and play, maybe get a little swimming in and
Yeah.
like whatever. But that's really it. That's about as much as I have to
Yeah.
do in the
I'm
ocean.
terribly afraid of sharks.
Mm.
And then it just gets worse from there. Like squids and Krakens, Godzillas,
They're all in there too. All of them.
Cloverfields.
They're all in the Cloverfields. The,
Yeah,
the Mothras. They're all
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Uh, Um, I don't like going into a body of water and like feeling things against my feet and my
Oh
legs that
no,
I can't see.
no, thank you.
So I will say that a water shoe does wonders for me as far as
Okay.
going into bodies of water because my feet being covered gives me a little bit more confidence.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know why
That
exactly.
makes sense.
So when I went on that cruise, we went on a cruise to the Bahamas. I went with a few friends and we had all planned on going scuba diving. We got there, I got the gear. I was like, all right, I'll try it. I put on the gear and whatever. And I went to go like walk out and there was just this barrier of disgusting seaweed that was like
Oh,
up to your waist and you had to go through it. And I was like, you know what? I'm good. I am just gonna lay on the beach. You guys have a great time. Like I don't know. There are some places I don't belong, and that's just a sensory thing for me. That is not something I need to feel against my skin. I don't
no.
like it.
I don't like the beach at all. I
Mm,
don't like the beach. I kind of like the beach at night. Not in the water, but just like looking at the stars at night. But I don't like
yeah.
the beach. I don't like no, I don't like it. Sand. I don't like it. I don't like
And I
being
get
that much in the sun.
yeah, I get not liking the beach. I can understand why. I I like the beach. I like falling asleep in the sun on the beach and like, I like a beach day. But I totally get the like there's always sand stuck everywhere and you get hot, so you go to the water and then you're wet and now the sand's sticking to you. And then you get dry so you can dust the sand off, but now you want to go back to the water
Right,
because it's
right.
too hot. And it's just that whole cycle. I get that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like a beach day has its place.
Yeah, I understand why other people like it, but I don't like it. I like you and I differ in this regard. I like nature from afar, but I don't like being in nature.
Yeah.
I like being in bookstores. I like being in cafes
Yeah,
and beautiful things that humans have created.
right.
I don't want to be in nature. I don't want to be in woods. No, thank
Yeah,
you.
I love to be in nature. And also, like, there are things about being in nature that make me anxious. Like, I'm not always completely at peace in nature where I'm just like, oh, I'm in the woods. Like, there are times that I'm walking around the woods and I'm like terrified that something's gonna jump out or what.
Right.
Like, I'm not,
Right.
I acknowledge that nature is nature and that there are some scary things that can happen
Sure.
that I have no control over. But I guess maybe that's some sort of exercise too,
Yeah, yeah.
just dealing with that and navigating that. There have been times, I remember one time I was in Vermont, and I was going for morning walks like by myself. And it's Vermont and it's near the mountains and stuff, and there could
Yeah.
be bears and shit in the woods. And I remember walking and having that realization and being like, oh shit, like what would I even do? I have no clue how to handle myself. So I'm walking in the woods and now I'm Googling like what kind of bears there would be in this area and like what do I do? Um, I ended up finding out that the best defense against whatever kind of bear it was in the area was to just be loud because they wanted to avoid people.
Yeah.
So I just played loud music
But
and
what if
went
it was
about
the
my
Bears'
business.
favorite band?
What if the bear was like, yo, that's my jam?
Oh shit.
Well, then, I mean, who am I to deny my fate?
Yeah.
If the music I've chosen brings the bears to the yard,
And damn
what am I
right.
gonna do?
Did you hear
Hmm.
about that celebrity couple?
I sure did. What an interesting pairing that I never, ever in a million years would have guessed.
What's her name again? Oh,
Khalees.
Khalees.
Yeah,
Is she a one name, Khalees?
Khalees.
So
That's it.
her big hit was "My Milkshake Brings All the Boys to the Yard,"
That's
and
right.
damn right,
It's better
better than
than yours.
yours. And
I can
she's
teach you.
dating Bill Murray, a man quite her senior.
Yeah, I like, I'm so curious. I really am very curious. Like, I want to know what they bonded over. I want to know everything. Truly.
But yeah, but you know what? I'm charmed by it. It seems very. I like
I
it,
think it's great. I think it's great.
and I like that they don't talk about it.
Yep.
They're like
I
it's none
find
of
it
their
kind of
business.
wholesome and adorable.
Yeah,
A little bit. I don't
yeah,
know. Jury's out. But right now,
yeah, yeah.
I think it's kind of cool.
As of now.
As of now, you know.
Speaking of kind of cool, have you seen the images from the new live action Avatar?
I have.
Thoughts?
I'm excited, but I'm so nervous because I'm so traumatized by the first time they tried to do it.
Yeah,
So I'm really nervous. But I like that it's not just a bunch of white people. That's
sure.
cool.
That is fun.
We like that. Big thumbs up there. Um, it looks cool. I
Yeah.
like the aesthetic. I like the way the coloring looks like in the still images and stuff. Like, I don't know. I really want to be very, very hopeful because I want it to be so good.
True. But and I've said this before, I don't want just a remake of the show in live action. I
No, I
want
want
it
to
to
see
be
what
something
these,
different.
yeah, and I wonder like what these actors can bring to that character because
Right.
like it also like as much as it has so many adult and important themes, it was a children's show.
Right.
And like as detailed as the characters were and all of that, how much further can you go when there's actually, a physical person instead of animation?
Right. Right, exactly. You know what's funny
Yeah.
though? When I first saw the images, I thought, is this real or is this some AI bullshit?
I hate that we have to think that.
Isn't that scary?
So I have so many thoughts on this whole AI thing, but really mainly, why is AI doing the jobs that we're supposed to be doing? Like
I know
that's the
AI is
stuff.
doing the fun jobs.
Yeah, AI
Yeah.
needs to be like paving roads and doing things that nobody else wants to do.
We got
Like
AI
we're
out there making new Beatles songs. You see
yeah,
that?
yeah, it's disturbing. It's so disturbing. I don't like it. Let let the humans be creative and let AI do the other stuff.
I know. I know.
Don't teach the robots to be creative. And also, I think that we live in a society that just fears robots because, we were all raised on all these like, Terminator and iRobot and all this
But those
stuff.
things are reflective of the genuine fears.
Yeah, but they're not reflective of reality. And it bothers me that like there's this hurdle because like there are futurists who talk about this at
Yeah.
length and explain it in ways I never could. But we have all the resources we need for everybody to live happy and comfortably. We have the technology we need to not have to do jobs that we don't want to fucking do.
Right.
Like, we have all of that. But we're so committed to this stupid mistake we started making that we're like, no, we'll all die under capitalism instead.
Yeah, it's funny when you think about it, like we're almost like stuck in a time loop. Like things aren't progressing because you look at something like South Korea, right? The most technologically advanced country on earth. They have technology that's so far ahead of us that if we were to go there, it seems like the future to us. But
Right.
of course, that's the present. We're just stuck in the past.
Yep.
It's
Because we're
bananas.
scared, because we're so scared
But we're scared
of
of what? Not
something new.
Uh, it's because we're scared of not a small amount of people having all the money.
Right. It's so terrible. It really is. It breaks my heart
Yeah,
because we could be really happy.
yeah,
Humans could be happy. And like if working makes you happy, you could work.
yeah,
No one would stop you. If you like paving roads, go pave a road.
yeah.
But you wouldn't have to.
How nice!
And that's the point.
I would love like a 3 day work week.
Yeah.
That would be lovely.
Right. And like that's the thing. Like people are fulfilled by work, and that is true. But
Sure.
imagine being able to really choose what fulfills you and not worrying about, well, I got to go do this miserable job that I hate to barely pay the bills. It like eh, we're struggling just to exist when really we could live. And like that's what previous generations have always tried to do. That's
Yeah,
what they always claim they're trying to do is make the world better for the future, make it better for the future. And it's not at all like the words are not lining up with the actions. Every action is making the world a terrible place for the future. It's making it uninhabitable for the
yeah.
future. And, the things that would make it a better place, people are less inclined to do because they don't make money. And it's terrible.
In the '60s, people like economists and futurists and people like that predicted that by our time we'd have a 4-day work week.
Hmm.
But it's not even a goal. Well, I mean, it's actually finally now becoming something that people talk about.
Right.
But some companies are doing 4 10-hour days, so they're not losing hours. It's
Mm-hmm.
like I don't want to do that. I pay me more, and I'm going to do less hours.
Right. Because people deserve to be able to live.
Right, right, right.
We should not be living just to work.
Yeah, yeah.
It's terrible. It really makes me very sad. We deserve more. I believe humans deserve more.
We do deserve more. We're not
And
here for this shit.
no,
Yeah,
no, we're not. And like, i- if you want to think about it from whatever standpoint, like maybe we've just evolved past it. Maybe that was a stage that humans were in, and now we're moving into a different one. And I don't understand being so uh, reluctant to do something that makes things easier for generations to come.
I know.
Why wouldn't we want that? Isn't that what we want?
Because the greedy are like, well, I'm not gonna be alive in generations to come.
Right.
What do I give a fuck about people who aren't me?
God awful.
So, was your new job your something good to share?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good.
That's what I got. That's what's good.
That's what's good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Woo! Tired.
Woohoo!
Woo! Woo! My something good is I've seen The Little Mermaid 4 times.
I still haven't seen it once. I'm so jealous.
What are you doing with your life?
Not the right things, I
Your
guess.
kids don't want to see it?
My daughter does really want to see it. It just has not happened yet.
It's so good.
It's been a time. It's been a busy month.
Yeah, I bet.
It's and like it's just ridiculous. There's always something with school, especially this last month. They're going crazy for the end of the year. There's always some theme day or event or whatever. I'm spent.
How was your Father's Day?
It was nice. It was nice. We had a good day. Low key kind of day. Cooked dinner, hung out at home, played video games with the kids.
What video games?
Mario Party mostly. Mario Party,
Nice.
Mario Kart.
Love
Fa
Mario Party.
family classics. I mean,
Love Mario Party.
hmm so good. And I have my old Nintendo 64.
Nice.
So that's been getting some love too.
What games you have for it?
Oh my God, I have GoldenEye, I have Star
Nice.
Fox, I have
Nice.
Banjo-Kazooie, I have Mario Party, I have the WrestleMania game.
Nice.
Um I got some good stuff. Pokemon Snap,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
classic. Love Pokemon Snap so much. I've been replaying that. Um yeah, I can't think of anything else. Oh, Mario 64, of
Yeah.
course.
Incredible.
Maybe the best video game ever made, in my opinion.
Wow. Well, I mean, I replayed it like a year ago because they came out with the 3D All-Stars for
Right.
Switch, and it
Uh-huh.
was Mario 64, Mario Galaxy, and Mario Sunshine, which sucks.
Yeah.
And replayed 64 and I was like, God damn, this is good. It's
It's a
just
great
just
game.
it's just good gameplay.
It's a great game and it holds up.
Yeah.
It holds up. We play it probably at least once a year in my
Yeah.
house. We go through the game.
That's the
Good
game where
stuff.
everyone learns that they have a sociopathic streak of them.
And they take that penguin.
Just like, oh, you want to go back to your mother? How about I just throw you into the abyss?
I want to know the person who didn't do that. Because I think we all did. Like, I want to know the one person that was like, no, I would never.
They're out there. I'm sure they're out there.
There's someone out there.
Jen, I don't know if Jen played the game, but that would be Jen. She
Yeah.
she like she's such a she's such
She's
a
a cinnamon roll.
yeah, she's a cozy gamer. I was like, I forget what game I was playing that I was like, do you want to play it? And like a bad guy swiped at her or something. Maybe it was
Oh.
Doom. And she's like, well, that's
Uh,
very rude. I was like, yeah, well, it's in the face. I was like, yeah, people are very rude in this.
It's not Animal Crossing.
Yeah, yeah. About to
Uh,
shoot their faces off.
oh my God. Yeah, she probably didn't throw the baby penguin
Uh,
off.
she's a good person. She's a better
Yeah.
person than I. Ugh. Okay, I have a question for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shoot.
Is there anyone that you know
Mm.
that you actually genuinely hate?
No, no.
I feel like you answered too quickly. I wanted to
So
think about it more.
I so I I don't know that it's I don't know if I would describe it as a strength or what, or a weakness or whatever. But I would say over the past maybe 5 years or so, have done a lot of work to try and be better at conflict and be better at understanding people that I don't agree with and stuff. And so, in general, like the things that I think would make me hate a person, I instead feel kind of sorry for them for. And I don't think that, I'm not saying that that's better or that makes me any sort of like virtuous or anything like that. Um, but I think the things that I would hate somebody for the way they treat people or something like that, like I just feel sorry for them that they haven't had better examples and that they haven't been set up better for life and that they're miserable and unkind. And I want my distance from them. But do I hate them? I don't think so.
But they laugh at the fact, and I'm just making this up. They laugh at you for having empathy enough to feel sorry for them. And they thrive
Yeah.
in the fact that they don't have empathy and they can just worry about their own pleasure
Yeah.
and hurt the people around them for gain or fun.
I literally do have people like that in my life. And I don't want them in my life. I don't like them. Um, yeah, I think I mostly just feel bad. I think it mostly is just how sad for you that that's what you were raised to believe and that you value these things that are going to leave you feeling empty and clearly leave you miserable because otherwise, why would you be so unkind to someone? Clearly, you're miserable. I think I just feel bad for the kind of people I would hate.
Okay. Do you think there's anything a person could do or a way to be that would make you hate them?
I mean, there are hateful, awful things. Like there are things that people do and choose that I hate,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I try to understand that people are a product of many different things. People are a product of their environment and their continued choices and all of these things. And if I'm judging someone, I have to take that all into account. Like, one of the examples that I think of is I was listening to an interview, and it was regarding someone who was quote unquote pro-life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and basically, like the idea that like this person has been raised to believe that they're the only thing standing between a bunch of people and innocent babies that
Right.
are going to be murdered. They believe that.
Right.
So they're wrong. They're completely ignorant. They're wrong. They're not. Their choice isn't rooted in righteousness or in empathy or in anything else, but it is rooted in what they know and they believe they're doing the right thing. So like I just think it's so much more nuanced. Like I can certainly hate things that people do. Like there are things that people do that are absolutely disgusting. There are things that people say and do that cut me to my core.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't hate them as an individual. I hate that this is a world that enables people to be that way. I hate that that person had experiences that make them think this way. Um, yeah. And I'm not saying that as if it's better or anything. I don't know that it is, because I do think hate and anger and, quote unquote, more negative emotions like
Yeah.
that have their place and they are important.
Mm.
I think that those are the things that drive change. So I think you do
Interesting.
have to, yeah, you have to hate bad things if you want them to change. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I like one of the examples that I think of uh, for whatever, better or worse, whatever it is Trump. What an
Right.
abhorrent human being in my eyes. I don't think not a good person. This is my opinion, whatever. But how sad. What a sad person.
Hmm.
I see a really sad, broken little boy who it never got the love he received and now is trying to manipulate everyone in the
Right.
world to try and make up
I
for the lost love that you know what I mean? Like
I
that's,
totally agree with you, but I think I could hate somebody that I feel bad for. I think I could see somebody like taking Trump for
yeah,
example. I could see somebody who obviously had a father that was really fucked up and instilled in him all these horrible things and is in his core just like a fucked up man child.
yeah.
But I still hate him because whatever's driving him drives him to, do really bad things.
And empower hatred in other people
Right, right,
who
right, right, right.
are comfortable hating and will go out and spew their hatred. Yeah, it's a complicated thing.
Yeah,
Um, this is something I think about a lot, really, just in general, uh, conflict and disagreement and
yeah.
trying to um, have love for or tolerance for people who you don't agree with in any way, people who have ideals and whatever that do not
Hmm.
align with your own. Um, and trying to understand that, like, the way my situation has allowed me to see this, and this, and form
Yeah.
this, and this opinion, their situation has been different their whole life. And because of what their situation is, they have formed this, and this opinion.
Hmm.
And maybe they're eager to learn something else, and maybe they're not. And if they're not, then there's really nothing I can do about that.
Well, yeah. Well, I think it
Except,
depends on.
you got to protect people from people like that. There's that. But I'm not going to change, like, in
Right.
an individual argument, if I'm speaking with somebody who doesn't agree with me and doesn't want to hear me, then I have nothing, I think it's very difficult, but I think there's a lot of important things that happen over difficult conversations. Um, but if you can't do that, then you're just talking in circles and you're just,
Right.
you know, perpetuating the issue.
Hmm. I think I don't think currently I know anyone that I hate.
Mm.
But I think but I really mean that when I say currently. I I think I think I have the ability to hate people, but I feel like hate doesn't feel good to me. Hate
Right,
is sort of like it's like catching a cold. Like when I have hate, I feel it in me. I feel it heavy on me.
right.
Um, I find myself ruminating about the person I hate and having mental arguments with the person I hate,
It's a lot
fantasizing,
like love that way.
yeah, fantasizing about the person I hate having comeuppance, or fantasizing about justice for
Hmm.
everyone to see the person that I hate and to see who that person really is.
Yeah,
Um, and it's hard to untangle from that. It's very
yeah,
hard to untangle from that. Because like you said, it's like love. It's like it could be a very, very deep feeling.
right,
And I don't ever, it's never my like mission to try to like everybody.
right.
If I do hate
Sure.
somebody, I try to go from hate to indifference.
Hmm.
I'd rather have be just completely divorced from these people
Hmm.
um that I would otherwise hate and just be like they don't even get into my sphere and I don't
Not
get
even on my radar. Yeah.
because they would bother me if they did, but I choose to live in a world without them in it.
Yeah, and I think that's really what it kind of boils down to for me. I thought of it as you were saying it. Like, I think I just value my peace so much that I won't make space for hate.
Right.
I won't. Like, if I see myself going that way with someone, if I see like this is a person that I could easily fucking hate,
Right, right, right,
I'm just
right.
not I'm just not gonna associate with you anymore.
You're right, right, right.
I'm gonna get away from you. If I don't need to, for whatever reason, associate with that person, you can get away from me. If you're
Right.
if you're like that unlikable and irredeemable, if you're the kind of person I could hate,
Right.
then just get away from me. I think I value my peace and I've gotten a lot better at holding boundaries. Like too much
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah. And I don't feel like hate empowers me at all. Like hate doesn't drive me
Right.
really in any positive way.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I really, I get nothing out of it. I get nothing out of hate.
That's exactly right.
But what's interesting is like I know, and I have known in my life a lot of adults who are haters, and you see it wear on them, and it's like, don't you see the wrinkles that it's giving you? Don't you see the
Why do
pain?
you want that?
Right? Why are you
Like,
holding on to this for 40 years, 50 years?
yep. And it's silly. You think of like, it's maybe, one of those reasons they say high school never ends or whatever.
Yeah,
It's like there's always going to be the drama queens. There's always going to be the people who thrive off of that, who love the chaos and the whatever, and will never will never figure out that they're the common denominator in the situations.
right. And people will say to me, like, oh, you hold a grudge, though. There are people that you don't, consort with. And
That's
I think,
fine.
yes, that's fine, but I don't hate them. Right.
There's a
In
difference
fact, I
between
stay
holding
away.
a grudge and holding a boundary.
Right, right, exactly. In fact, I stay away from them so I don't have to hate them.
Precisely.
Being closer to them would make me hate them. I am so far removed that it's just nothing to me. But like you said, it's a boundary. I won't
Right.
change my boundary.
Right. Yeah, I actually, not that I'm proud of it or anything, but I found myself kind of delighting in someone's misfortune recently because it's a person who has had a hand in my misfortune.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it kind of felt like, oh, look at karma doing its thing. Um,
Do you
so
resist
yeah,
that?
I try to. I mean, well,
I don't.
not that I try to, because I did text my friend about it and be petty about it for a minute and
Sure.
whatever. But not that I try to repress it or whatever. I feel it and get rid of it.
But
You
you
know what
had
I
an
mean? Like
interesting point where you said karma. Because isn't there a part of you that feels like, especially you, because you're so woo-woo, like, isn't there a
so
part of you that feels like this is justice?
sure, a little bit,
Yeah.
a little bit. And there is definitely it's hard to describe because there was definitely a feeling of like, cool, someone's getting what they deserve or
Yeah.
whatever. But then there's also the feeling of, oh, am I a terrible person for wishing that? Would I really want somebody to get hurt?
Well,
Do
it's there's a difference between wishing it and it happens and you're delighted by it.
right? I guess I guess that's true. And I really I found myself like tickled by it, and I was like, oh, I don't know if this is okay or whatever. Um, but yeah, that's to say that, it's not, oh, I'm just above hating people. Like, no, it's something that I do struggle with, but I do consciously try not to
Right,
hold
well,
hate because
it clips
it
your
hurts me.
wings.
Yeah. It's like whatever, holding a hot coal or whatever. I don't know.
Right, 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 right.
There's an expression for it somewhere.
Right, right, right. It's yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's gonna hurt you more than it hurts somebody else, like
Right, 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 right.
ultimately. There was something that I did want to talk to you about. So
Please.
I wanted to talk about what are your thoughts on the quote unquote power of positive thinking in whatever, format. I'm not saying just like, law of attraction shit or whatever. I'm talking
Right.
about like
Well, right. Well,
attitude
exactly.
changing.
That was my where my brain went first. Like, I believe, I do think that, well, I do believe that positivity is good. I mean, like we were just talking about with hate, like keep your brain light, keep your brain in a nice neutral area. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I don't believe in any kind of woo woo of like it'll change the vibes in the room or like my
Right.
plant will grow better if I'm nice around it or do
Yeah.
I or like The Secret and I think I'll get some shit if I'm
If I
you know
think
what I mean,
about
like
it
you
hard
said.
enough.
Right, right. I do think that it can go Well, I was gonna say it could go too far, but when it goes too far, I wonder if it's genuine. Because as a liberal person, I know other liberal people, and sometimes liberal people try to be so positive. It feels like, are you really this positive, or are you just trying to out positive me right now?
Right. hmm I think so. I was thinking about this. I think it was some kind of ad or something that made me start thinking about it. So there is, I think, when you're struggling with some sort of mental health demon,
Sure.
um, power in positive thinking. So people are
Sure.
talking about making the choice to decide you deserve better and blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. And you hear that in advertisements, you hear that in self-help books and stuff like that. But what they gloss over and they don't then talk about is the next step, which is doing the work.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
don't talk about that because it's not glamorous, it's not pretty. It comes with, the shadow and all of that shit that nobody wants to look at.
Right. Right.
Um, but like they do have the first step right. And that's a thing that I think I was kind of trying to fight. That it was just like, people uh, like, oh, just get up and go for a walk. You're depressed, go outside, you'll feel better. Like, okay, fuck you. You clearly don't
Well,
get it.
that when people are like that, that's to me like you're not understanding the gravity of how someone else is feeling.
Right. And that's kind of how I felt about the whole thing. The whole thing kind of gave that energy to me when people would say, like, you just have to decide that whatever. But you know what? That is truly the first step, is
Yeah.
deciding that you want better and all of that stuff. Like, they do have that right. The problem is that everybody glorifies that first step as if it's the only step. And
Right.
it's not. It's the beginning of like a shit road that you really gotta like work and get through.
Right.
It's not
Right.
just, oh, I started thinking positively and I decided I deserved better for my life. And so I woke up with all the energy in the world the morning
Right.
after I made that decision and all my problems are fixed. Like,
Right.
no,
Right.
it's I made the decision that I deserved better. And so I went to a doctor and I
Right.
unearthed
Right.
like
Right.
deep, deep pain. And
Yeah.
I looked at my eating habits and I looked at, all of that stuff. And I think the whole like positivity culture or whatever just glosses over that as if like all you have to do is make the decision to be happy. Yes, you do need to make the decision to be happy, but that has to set forth a whole slew of work. Like it has to
Right.
start you off on a journey. That's not the destination.
Right.
The destination isn't the decision. That's the beginning.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I agree. But I know some people that that like you and I like do work in various ways on ourselves for ourselves.
Doing the work.
But I know people that don't work um in that capacity. Like people that are like fucked up in some way.
Yeah.
Maybe and I don't mean like bad people, they just themselves are not functioning well. And you kind of say, like, come on, like try and fail. I try and fail 10 times a day. Like,
Right.
and I know like everyone's struggle is different and everyone's feelings are different. But I don't know, when I see people, I guess maybe it's just my own projecting because I never want to accept that I'm unhappy and depressed.
Right.
I always want to fight for something better. So when I see somebody just wallowing in it forever,
Mm.
I'm like, come on. Like, I almost,
Right.
I don't know. It's such complicated feelings. You want to like, I want to like beat them up and be like, fucking get back on the horse. Do fucking
Yeah.
do anything. Like, pick a
It's
thing,
hard to see
do it.
people who, yeah, and it's hard
Do
to see people
anything.
who aren't self-aware or willing to be or whatever in that way. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay that you're depressed and miserable. You got to do something about it, though. Like, it's okay. It's understandable. It's more than okay. It's valid as hell that you're depressed because
Right.
it's chemical, it's situational, it's all the things. I just today saw a headline on a newspaper that was talking about the absolutely ridiculous spike in mental health issues in our country.
Uh-huh.
And like it makes sense that we're all going through some shit. It makes sense, especially, I feel like where there are all these generational traumas that we share. There's just a general awareness of mental health in a way that there wasn't for generations prior.
Yeah.
So we're working through our shit, but we're also working through our parents' shit and our grandparents'
Yeah.
shit
Yeah.
because they didn't work through their shit.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and for some people, it's a lot easier to just stay unaware and to not try to dismantle that. They see that as easier.
Yeah.
That's the easier way for them is to just continue to ignore it. It's gotten me to this point. Why should I try and do anything different? You know, but it is important. It is important, and you deserve better than just being depressed and miserable. Like,
Right.
and
Right.
it's hard to look at somebody who's depressed and you do want to like fucking shake them and be like, come
Right.
on, you got to do something. And that doesn't mean,
Doesn't mean right now. Like it
it
just
doesn't mean right now.
in general, let's take a baby step towards something.
Right. And it doesn't mean that you're going to solve it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it doesn't mean like, oh, I'm doing the work and so now I'm not depressed. It
Right.
just
Right. Right.
means that in those moments where I am so depressed that it's taking things over, whatever, I can rely on the tools that I gathered
Right.
when
Right.
I wasn't in the hole
Right. Right.
and
Right.
I can dig myself out. Like,
Because
it's
because you do build skills. You
you
do
do.
build skills.
You do, and it's cheesy and whatever. And I know I've been a person who needed help and wasn't getting it. So I know how it feels sometimes to hear those things and to roll your eyes like, what the fuck is going to help me? What the fuck is going to help me? I'm in the hole. Like, what? I'm going to call somebody or whatever. But yes,
Right. Or
yes,
maybe, some I'm look, when you're in a hole, you're in a hole, but maybe like I know when I need a walk. I know when I
right.
need a nap. I know when I need to read a book that I like. I
Hmm.
I know when there's nothing I can do, and that's okay because tomorrow I'll do something.
Yep.
Like it's I don't want to sound like I'm saying like Joe, just get up and do it. I'm saying like you feel this horrible way. And that sucks because I feel horrible way too a lot. Like at least like crawl through the mud in some direction.
Right. And in general, we don't feel like that every day. People with depression, we don't feel
Right,
absolutely in the hole every day. So on
right,
the day that you feel a little bit better, stock up on some stuff that's going to help you on the
right,
days that
right,
you
right.
don't feel so good. And it does help. And people
And
roll their
ask for
eyes
help
at
for
it,
other
but
people too. Go ahead and
yeah,
ask for help.
please, because you might get the help you need, you might not,
Yeah,
but you might let somebody else know that they're not alone.
right.
And like, it's cheesy. You hear that repeated over and over again, and it's why so many people create the media they do and all this stuff. But like, it really, really is important to let people know that they're not alone. And that includes in your inner circle. So reaching
Yes.
out to your inner circle for help tells them that they can also reach out to you for help.
Yeah.
And maybe, people's skill sets are different and the kind of help they can provide are different, but everybody's got something they could offer.
But going back to positivity, I sometimes wonder if people will tune into this podcast looking for that and not get it because they're not going to get it.
No, we're pretty realist, I think.
I mean, I think we're prickly positive. We're
Prickly
positive.
positive.
We're positive,
Oh,
but prickly. You know what I mean?
I
Like
like it.
we're not like everything's shit sucks, but
But there's some stuff that doesn't.
yeah.
Yeah, shit sucks, but
And we're
occasionally
not
you find some stuff that
professionals.
isn't. No, 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 we're not. We are not
This is
mental
not
health
an advice
professionals.
podcast. This is a podcast about two people dealing with their own shit, and it's for entertainment purposes only.
We're just muddling through.
That's fucking right.
That's
Was that
fucking
your
right.
question for me, or was that just a topic you wanted to breach?
That was a topic I wanted to breach. My
Breach the right
specific
word there? Breach?
breach,
Brooch? No, brooch
broach.
is what you wear.
Yeah,
Bro,
brooches.
I don't know English.
I just don't know.
I'm not good at it.
I'm not good at this English stuff.
I've only been speaking it 39 years.
Yeah, it's a it's a lifetime to master. Um, no, my specific question that I wanted to ask you is morbid.
Yes,
Um,
please.
what are your feelings on human euthanasia, and is it something you would ever choose for yourself under any circumstance?
I feel that it's absolutely, I feel very positive about it. I feel that it's absolutely the humane thing to do. And I feel like I wish we were dragging our feet less. I wish we would all get there. And yes, I would absolutely. think of it for myself. If I was in some, some kind of physical pain that I couldn't get out of, or if my mind was slipping in a way that was very painful, it's my body, it's my choice. Number one.
Hmm.
Secondly, you just think about it for animals, right? If we understand that it's humane to do it for a dog, then
Hmm.
why is it not humane to do it for a person? Why should
Right.
people just die on the vine and just circle the drain in just increasingly painful? Like, I mean, when people, we all know, I mean, I'm in middle age now, so like I've known a lot of old people who passed away, and it just, the end sucks. And you know maybe scientific advancements can make the end a little better for people, but the end is gonna suck. um
Right.
and I'd rather it be shorter than sucking.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think it scares me when I think about it.
I think of
I
people that I know that I wish had elected for it. And this is where I get into my, I mean, this gets personal, but this is where I get into my personal problems with organized religion. Because sometimes it's like there isn't going to be a miracle. Like
right.
you cannot come back from where you are. You're nothing.
Science says this is over.
You're living meat. So why keep you going like you're a
Yeah,
wax figure in a museum,
sure.
or you're in terrible pain, and you're just like, you being in pain is just a nightmare. It's sad that you lived a whole life and then like the last chapter is like this horror story.
Hmm. And yeah, like I have such a fear of being like comatose or
Mm,
being like there but not there and not having control of my body and still being stuck inhabiting my body.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Terrible.
terrible. I think that that's like hellish. And I was actually talking about this recently with a friend and just you bringing up the idea of like, there's not going to be a miracle. Um, it also like, just with the idea of religion and the afterlife and all of that, like watching people suffer through this lifetime because of something they hope is on the other side for them
Yeah.
is just difficult for me. Like I just want to like that those are people I want to shake and want to be like, okay, even if there's something great after this,
You can enjoy
enjoy
this.
this.
This can
Enjoy
be
this.
enjoyable too. Don't make this
Right.
suck because
Right. This
you get
isn't
some
you
reward
must
later.
suffer here so that you can enjoy something later. Like enjoy what you've got. There's stuff right here that's worth enjoying. And even if you're, you know, like um I don't know the word I'm looking for, but like sober and like
All right.
completely closed off to that kind of enjoyment of life, there's still plenty of beautiful, wholesome, wonderful things in the world to
Sure.
enjoy that you can enjoy while practicing your religion. Like, you don't have to suffer for the promise of something that might exist later. Why don't you enjoy what you've got here? And hopefully that's there for you later too. If that's what you believe, then
Yeah.
right on. But there's so much beauty here. And why are you spending your time suffering and worrying about what other people are doing
Right.
when you should just be enjoying your time. You have
Right.
it's the whole universe had to conspire for you to exist here and now.
Yeah. Right.
What's more magical and holy and whatever else than that?
Right. Right.
Enjoy what you have right in front of you.
Yeah. What's better than this? I mean, I know this can be awful, but it's like, I mean, what do you really want? You want to feel a positive feeling for forever? I don't like forever. I don't know.
We can't even possibly comprehend forever. When we say forever as humans, like we're
Right.
just I don't, we're being silly. We're being romantic.
Right.
Forever isn't something we could possibly even comprehend. We barely understand our place in the universal
Right.
timeline.
Right. Right.
We can't understand forever.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
I think that's what's going to
Yeah.
help me out the next time I think I'm going to be miserable forever. Just be like, I don't even understand forever.
Yeah. There's no forever.
How could I be miserable forever?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Meh.
Do you have any recommendations for the listeners?
Um, Honestly, I haven't been taking in anything particularly meaningful lately.
Okay.
What could I recommend even? I started listening to an audiobook that I can recommend.
Okay.
No, you know what I am going to recommend? I'm going to
Please.
recommend so the podcast Armchair Expert has
Okay.
an episode with a woman who also has a podcast that is called The Witch Trials of J.K. Rowling. And she's not clear on what her stance is on anything or whatever, but she talks about conflict and she talks about misunderstanding people and this, that, and the other thing. And she herself grew up in the Westboro Baptist Church and was convinced by another person over Twitter to question her own mindset. Like it's a very interesting listen. I would definitely recommend this episode, even if you don't listen to, I know sometimes it's overwhelming when you look at a new podcast and you see they have so many episodes and you want to listen to everything. You don't have to. Just listen to this episode. It's really good. Her name is, I have to look it up. I know her first name is Megan, and she's got two names. Mm, Megan Phelps Roper.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So my recommendation will be a little bit to counter yours.
Do it.
I'm gonna recommend the YouTube essayist ContraPoints. She's a transgendered activist, sort of philosophy major, but very sort of funny and beautiful. And they did a video called all about analyzing the witch trials of J.K. Rowling. And ContraPoints has actually done a few good videos on J.K. Rowling. Um,
I want to
and
watch this now.
the pain they wrought.
Mm-hmm.
So watch. I think it's her most recent video, "The Witch Trials of J.K. Rowling." It's 2 hours, but it goes good, and it's such well done essay. And yeah, I the more I have such bad feelings about J.K.
It's so
Um,
sad. It's
it
it's
really
such
is
a
sad. It's
sad
sad,
feeling.
actually. Yeah.
Mhm. That's how I feel about it. I feel sad
Hmm.
and disappointed. It's kind of like, when you realize like your aunt or uncle is racist or something.
Yeah.
Like it just it
It's
the
not to
way it
sound
happened, it was like you taught me so many good things. How do you believe something so ugly?
not to sound ageist,
Mm,
but I agree with you in that feeling about it being like your aunt or uncle, because I feel like JK fell down a very scary conservative rabbit hole, and you can't get her out of it now because it's cult thinking.
right.
I think the same thing happens to Roseanne. I used to be such a fan and admirer of Roseanne Barr, and she also fell down one of these holes, and you can't get her back out of it. It's sad that you'd have to deprogram them like the people
Right.
deprogrammed from cults.
And this, I feel like, kind of ties back into your question about hatred and stuff like that. Like, I despise that aspect of this person, but
Yeah,
how sad, what happened to you that makes you think like this?
I know.
Because you know better, and I know you know better somewhere. And
Yeah.
like, at what point did you commit to this ideology, and why can't you get out from it? And like, that's what I believe. And maybe that's naive as hell. Maybe I'm seeing good in people where there is none, and
Mm.
whatever, maybe, but that's how I think.
Right, right, right.
I think that someone somewhere failed you, and isn't that sad?
Yes, yes. All right, we better wrap this baby up. Put a little
Woo.
bow on it. I don't think we said our names. You're
Nope.
Kate Ganey.
And you're Mike Bongiorno.
Well, that was Cuckoo Bananas. Thank you so
It
much for
sure
listening.
was.
I hope you had a good time. And come back on the last Monday of every month for more goodness.
Please do.
We love you. We don't hate you. I don't hate you.
I
I
have no
would never
hate.
hate you.
No hate in my heart for you. Not even a little.
Bye bye.
Bye.